You are listening to the Inverted Creative Podcast. I'm Allison.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Jen. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Inverted Creative Podcast. Today, we have an extremely special guest for you. We are welcoming Ryan, the Six Flags Regional Public Relations Manager.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. You got it right. Intro's good.
Yeah. Once I started to say it, I was like, these are a lot of words. And
it's a lot. Yeah. Public Relations Manager, East Region. I have Great Adventure, Wild Safari, and Dorney Park, and Wildwater Kingdom. That also includes Hurricane Harbor, New Jersey, and the Savannah Sunset Resort. So there's like 6 unique little properties, but 2 parks. So 2 parks, 1 price. It's the Dorney way.
Yeah. Heck yeah. We're really excited to get into this episode. As everyone knows, I'm pretty sure. If you don't know, then I don't really know what rock you've been living under. But there are some really exciting things coming specifically to Six Flags Great Adventure. But also it's Talon's 25th birthday. So
yeah, right.
We're here actually to talk about Talon's.
That's the priority to talk about.
We're here for Talon's birthday, 100%.
Yeah.
25 years for the king. Love it.
Exactly. So, yeah, lots to get into. An hour long of Talon birthday talk.
That's it. That's all we're going to talk about the entire time.
Yeah, and maybe like a minute of Project Purple.
That is fine.
So I do want to start off. I kind of stalked your LinkedIn and found your about line on there. Says, the nature of PR is fast turns, high stakes, and constant motion. What matters is keeping the story on track and the outcome on point.
Yep.
That feels so fitting for our podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it is especially. I don't know if it applies to all PR jobs, right? Like I've been around the block, but this specifically for the theme park community and the industry. It is fast paced. It's ever evolving. Things change, and you're just trying to hold on to the lap bar and stay on the track. And so I think there is something to be said for making sure that you control the narrative. And that's what we're certainly trying to do with Great Adventure, and something I think we've done pretty well at Dorney over the last couple of years. I think for both these parks, 2025 is kind of an anomaly. But as we get back into 2026, it's been really good to kind of get into this dynamic storytelling mode where we're kind of getting into the nitty gritty of things. You know, if you're a roller coaster enthusiast, you love who manufacturers are, and you love when things are coming together and tracks getting delivered and where are things coming from and all those different things. And we can kind of lean into that this year and capitalize on the momentum. So it's exciting. Yeah, I think that's a lot of what the job is. And, trying to keep a positive attitude about the parks, regardless of what's happening in the world, which, for some people can be difficult. But for me, it's easy because I love these parks so much. I grew up going to both of them. And I think that the future is bright, certainly for Great Adventure, but also, as we've seen in the last couple of years here, Dorney Park.
So what's kind of been your experience like, or your history of working at parks, being at theme parks, and kind of how you got to where you are now?
Well, it's a weird story. I honestly, when you're younger, everybody's like, "What do you want to be when you're growing up?" I mean, for years, for me, it was just like, I want to play a sport. I want to play soccer, or I want to be a baseball player. And you get to college and you realize like that's not going to be your outcome to be a professional athlete and to retire and all that. And so in college, got banged up, kind of found myself not really that interested in sports after a couple injuries, and was just like, hey, what can I do? And I started filming the soccer team and doing interviews as part of a program at Temple University. And I was like, man, you know what? I really like telling stories, and I really love photography, and I really love cinematography and videography, and I love to edit. And what is something that I can do that utilizes all these things? Well, at the time, I had a professor, everybody's like, I'm a communications major. So it's like at the beginning, everybody's in communications. And I had a professor who did journalism. And she was like, hey, you should do this. You should do this. And I had always thought about doing it. So I went to journalism. I did that for 10 years. I was a reporter and a producer and anchored and directed and used the camera, videographer. I did all those jobs. But I never really found fulfillment in that line of work. I mean, you always feel important, I think, in journalism, but I personally just never really found it as like this, like is something that I really am passionate, like I really, really, really love. I'm passionate about everything. I'm just a passionate person. So I shouldn't say I'm not passionate, but I just didn't love it. And so I started trying to figure out like you hit that point. I think everybody is going to hit that point at some point in their life, whether they call it a midlife crisis or whatever. For me, it was at 30 years old. It's just like, what am I going to like? This didn't work out how I thought it was going to go. And I don't love it anymore. So what am I going to do? And so for me, I just started looking around. I took a job in government doing PR, and man, it was so boring. I said, I got to find something more exciting. I just started looking around, and Dorney had a job open for, public relations and communications, and the title was different back then. And I'm like, oh. And I remember I interviewed with Mike Fainall, who is now the park manager at Great Adventure, Small World stuff. And their big thing was like, hey, we need like someone who can connect us with our community, and someone who can tell stories, and someone who can take photos, and just make sure that Dorney's like out and then like that we look good, and we're telling. And I'm thinking, this job sounds awesome. And I grew up going to theme parks, and I love theme parks. And every time I've gone on vacation, I've always tried to work like it's worked around a theme park. And I honestly I didn't know that like roller coaster enthusiasts were a thing. And I didn't know that like people built their whole personalities around theme parks, because I never grew up quite close enough to a park to be there all the time or to work there. So it's just not something I thought about. But in that interview, like a light bulb came on. I'm like, dude, this sounds awesome. Like, this sounds like my personality. And, a couple weeks later, they called me back, offered me the job. I went out for a site visit. So I'm like, hey, can I come out? Like, I haven't been to Dorney since high school. It's just probably a lot of people as they get older. Like, man, I haven't been to that park since a field trip in high school. And I went out, and all those feelings, I tell people all the time, like, when you go to your home park, there's a reason we call it home park, because it's like when you go there, especially a park like Dorney, and you see that there's things that haven't changed, and it's like I always say, it's like going to grandma's house. There's no better feeling. There's like this sense of like, man, I belong here. And I feel like that's why the theme park community is so inclusive, and why so many of us can connect to it so, lovingly and on a deep level. And so just when I went to the visit, I'm like, oh, I'm taking this job. And I took that job, and I haven't looked back. It's been, I'm on my 5th season now with the company, which obviously has merged and changed. But I guess the one thing that hasn't changed is just how excited I get for the parks, and clearly very excited about Dorney. Love Dorney. And now I have the privilege of doing the same thing for Great Adventure. And I used to go all the time because I was a huge Batman fan. So Great Adventure had a very different feel for me as a kid, and tapping in, and this project that we're working on right now with Project Purple, the big purple coaster, I think is like the perfect encapsulation about how I always felt about Great Adventure, which is just like, oh man, it's always something dynamic, fun, exciting. It's different. It just feels big. And that's, I think it's almost like the other side of you, it's like we got that consistent home. It's safe. It's comfortable. Everything is like, Dorney is just so beautiful and scenic. And then Great Adventure is like, boom, like exciting, energy, enthusiasm. Around every corner, there's something different and exciting. And so, I don't know. It's just, I guess that's the background. It's like, I never knew that this was a job. I tell people that all the time. If I had earlier, I probably would have gotten into it earlier. But now that I'm in it, it's like, there's just no looking back. I mean, I love it. Super passionate about it. And, I tell people all the time that if you're looking for something dynamic, it doesn't have to be theme parks, but like the entertainment industry is just always so exciting and different and fascinating, and it changes. And for a personality like mine, it's the perfect fit.
Yeah. Every time I hear you talk, I can tell how passionate you are about your role and the parks that you're working with.
Yeah. Passion's a strength of mine, but it can also get in the way sometimes. But I always tell people, it's weird to say like this, but I'm not like a big company guy. I am a park guy. Like, I will fight tooth and nail for my 2 parks. And if they give me another one for a little bit, it's also like my baby, whether it was Knott's for a couple weeks or stepping in and helping out at Worlds of Fun or New England or wherever. Like, I will embrace the culture and fight for the park. But it's easy once you get in there and you meet people, because it's not just rides and steel. It's people, and it's communities. And I think that's what's so special about it.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
It's the only way for me to look at it. I'm
Yeah.
clearly a people person, so
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I know you mentioned how the parks are so different. Still
yeah,
going to get into your background a little bit, but just while it's top of mind,
yeah.
do you approach the way that you make posts, the way that you tell your stories based off of those differences? Because the parks really are, like, personality wise, completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it. I mean, so I think when I go into a presentation, I mean, honestly, it starts with me, right? Like, what am I comfortable with, and what can work within my personality? Because I'm not going to be fake. I'm not a robot. People know that. I mean, like, I've done interviews before where people are like, "Why do you say dynamic so many times?" It's like, dude, because I'm just a normal person. Sometimes you get stuck on one word and you really like it. Okay, so this will be a dynamic interview, but yeah, I think when I think about each park, you do handle them a little bit differently. One thing that I noticed with New Jersey is that there is a very passionate, um, very connected group of influencers and content creators who exist in the theme park community. Whereas at Dorney in the Lehigh Valley, we tend to have more family influencers and content creators that are of a smaller scale. Um, but man, like when you think about Great Adventure, and it's great, like literally, it's in the name. Well, how can you make it greater? And it's like, think of all these dynamic, large content creators that are right in our own backyard. So I think one thing people will notice is like, man, he's pulling in a lot of content creators, and there's like this deliberate, Ryan has this deliberate way of like, why is he pulling them all in so much? And they're so involved. And it's like, because it's Great Adventure. Like the story should overwhelm you. Like when we do something, I want you to get into your social media and you're like, my God, I can't get it out of my algorithm. And I think like that's gotta be Great Adventure's niche, where I think Dorney is just like so subtle and welcoming. And there is kind of like this chill, relaxed demeanor of it. But you got to remember too that it is Eastern Pennsylvania. So when I used to manage the social medias for Dorney, like I do still think there's like hey, we'll still bop you around from time to time. Like let's not get it twisted. Like we are still in the tri-state. But I think Great Adventure can be just a little more aggressive in how we tell stories and how we get out in front of things and what we're doing. And I think that leans right into like my passion. Like that's where I can really utilize that. Where Dorney, maybe we tap a little more into the nurture. But I don't want to make it sound like they're completely different, because they're not, because they're both in the Northeast. But maybe Dorney's a little more neighborly, right? Maybe Dorney's a little more simple and natural, and Great Adventures maybe not quite those things. But I love that it's like we are on the lake, and there is a lot of beautiful landscaping. So there's still plenty of synergy and things that I can take from one to the other. But I think if you go to one and then you go to the other, you're like, man, this is like two different experiences. But I think that's great, because that speaks to the value of the Gold Pass right now, and that regional perk of being able to go to Dorney or Great Adventure. And the spring sale for Great Adventure, it's like, it's $70. You get free parking and you can go to Dorney whenever you want to, and that's crazy. So
Yeah.
It's all working out.
Yeah. That definitely makes sense.
So I know you talked about bringing in content creators from the area.
Yeah.
That was one of the things on my list. Have they kind of taken the story in different ways that you didn't really expect them to originally?
So honestly, that's part of why I bring in different voices. So one of the things I was saying about my background is I'm really big on photography and videography, and I don't say that to say like I'm the best. I am, boy, maybe just above novice. But I think with really good creators or creatives, the way to get better and to improve who you are, which in my case is the park, is to surround yourselves with people who are different in those aspects. So I love bringing in photographers who have a different eye, who use different lenses, who use different cameras, who see the world differently through the lens of their camera. Because when they take a picture, it's not going to look like anything I took, and I might learn something from it. And to our audience, it suggests, man, like I've never seen Great Adventure this way. In the same sense, whether it's cinematography, videography, whether it's storytelling and content creators, Ryan Chin is going to see it different than Jen sees it, who's going to see it different than Colin Petronanni sees it, who's going to see it different than Katie Kreiner or, Rob Alvey or Taylor. I mean, there's 80 million different creators that exist. Now, the theme park community doesn't have 80 million, but overall, I mean, there are so many different people and they all see things very differently. And I think when you can bring more people in, it's just going to make your story that much more dynamic. And it will challenge us in how we tell stories as well. But yeah, I mean, they see stuff differently all the time. I mean, they'll come up to me and be like, did you think about this? Or did you notice this? And sometimes you're like, yeah, dude, okay. And then other times you're like, dude, actually, that's like a really valid thought. And I'm surprised that we hadn't thought of that yet. Or, hey, I really like what you're doing there. What if we did this, we collaborated with you? What if you added this to it? And we can push each other. And that's what happens when you kind of like surround yourself in that space. I think the challenge early on with a project like this is you got to be careful who you trust. So, I'm big on that too. But as far as pulling in creators, it's like there's going to be times where I'm probably going to tell you stuff before it can go public. So there's got to be a trust of like, you're not going to breach my trust. And so sometimes that's why the circle starts small and it grows. And over time, hopefully our circle continues to get larger as we try to figure out different and dynamic ways to tell the story. But man, nothing's better than media day when you look around and you've got different kinds of people, different faces, different perspectives, unique content creation and capturing abilities. That's what I love. So I think it's just creative in me.
Yeah, everyone tells the story a little differently, so it is like getting everyone in the same room is probably amazing to watch as someone not behind all of it, but like kind of behind all of it.
Yeah, and the more I bring people in, the more I find like I'm not as able to use the camera as I used to be, because like when you're the site lead, it's like borderline irresponsible to be like geeking out with the camera and not paying attention to what anybody else is doing. But I think there's something, it's kind of like, I am a dad. So it's kind of like the father in you to like sit back and be like, look at my kids. Yeah, look at they're all creating content and they're having the time of their life. And I can enjoy that too. So it's been a little different because when I did Dorney, it was more like I was in it, filming it, capturing it on the ground, in space. And now it's more like I'm bringing in people to do those things for me, and I can get a higher volume and more unique voices involved. But I have to take a step back and say, okay, well, I'm not the one with the camera anymore. So it's been kind of an evolution of myself and our storytelling too.
Ryan's just a proud papa of all of his little content creators.
I am. Some days I am. And then other days too, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And they're like, all of a sudden they're going to bolt and go somewhere where they're not supposed to be. I'm like, what are you doing? No, it's not my kid. He's not mine.
He's not mine. He's not with me.
He was 2 minutes ago. He's not anymore.
I put him up for adoption that quick.
Yeah. Hey, you over there. No, it's good though. At the heart of it too, I always try to look at it like, most people you run into more often than not are good people. And if you can keep that perspective, then, ultimately you'll develop deep connections with people, and that allows you to work easier with them. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually think it's easier to be guarded than it is to be open. It's my pro tip of the day. It's easier to shut yourself off and not work with others and do it all yourself than it is to, because you can get hurt if you open yourself up, right? Same thing with the parks. It's like we open ourselves up, we bring in all these content creators. Yeah, things could not turn out, and someone could do something that, doesn't do good by the group. But if we didn't, then it would just be us. So
yeah, and it also opening yourself up can turn into a really beautiful project. Like the payoff is usually pretty worth it.
I've loved it so far. It's been really, really interesting and fun just to see the different content that comes out of every time we do something. We'll have another opportunity coming up here soon with a little spring creator day that we're doing. And I'm really just excited to see what people are creating and expanding the opportunity that we gave to a very select few at the beginning, as we tried to figure out how this was all going to work and how it was going to look, and make sure that we were talking to corporate partners and that they were like, hey, this does work, you're right, and kind of giving us the flexibility to grow it. So it's been cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it sounds like it'll be a fun opportunity.
Always.
Now, this is probably a very vague question, but obviously we are a creative podcast. So what are some of the ways that your role allows you to be creative, bring in all your unique thoughts in?
Yeah, we kind of talked about that.
Yeah.
I always tell people, I think the one really unique thing is that, in my space right now, there's not a whole lot of individuals who have my skill set or have my experience at the park level. But they all do see the park uniquely, right? Like whether you're a ride operator or whether you're in security or whether you're a park manager or whether you're in entertainment, they all see the park differently. And it's really cool when they can come to me with all these unique ideas, and we can flush out like how does that work into like the overall marketing strategy for the park. And like, hey, I think that's great. It exists in social, or like, maybe we should go back to the drawing board with that idea, or like, hey, I actually do think this is a great opportunity to get like media involved, legacy media, right? Like this is a good opportunity to tell that story. Let's get some video, let's kick it out on a press release. So I think there's flexibility in that level of creativity, like how we tell the story, where we tell the story, what does it look like, who's involved. The other area of creativity is like, yes, I do still get to get out with my camera from time to time. Shot a fun little thing with the Zephyr this week, and I just saw the picture went on Dorney Park socials. So being able to get out there with the camera again, and then did some video, like sticking meta glasses are really cool. Sticking them on like our ride operators or sticking them on a mechanic is something that like we used to have to do with a GoPro, and it was kind of a pain in the neck. But just being like, yo, take my glasses and just let them roll for 3 minutes and let's see what we get is really cool. So being able to have like that creative flexibility, and then like I'm a writer at heart. So one of the things we've rolled out over the last 2 months is this spot on I hate calling it a blog, but it says blog. So if you go to sixflags.com, there's actually a blog, and we're able to write articles and then dynamically introduce like video and photos that we've taken and tell stories. And whether it's been Great Adventure with Shoreline Pier at the boardwalk, or whether it's been Dorney Park with like Operational Excellence Awards, I've had the flexibility to tell those stories too in a way that is external. And then also like internally, like we have a hub for information for our associates, and we tell those stories and they get to see them internally in the work that they do, or whether we get nominated for awards. So like you're always part of the fabric of things, and you get a lot of creative flexibility in storytelling. And I think kind of goes back to what I said, like my origin story, like that's what I love. Like I am a storyteller at heart, and like I am like a visual interpreter. So to be able to work those two things together, I think has been really cool.
Yeah. That sounds like a perfect balance.
Oh, there's days, but it is a perfect it's a perfect balance. But yeah, we have days where you get really, really busy. So
yeah, I can imagine. It's
right now
dynamic.
Yeah.
What do you mean? There's nothing going on at the park.
It is dynamic, Jen. Good catch.
Yeah, I got you.
See what you did there.
It's the beauty of ADHD. I will now use dynamic 100 times.
Oh my gosh. Well, someone pointed it out and I was like, yo, I did say it a billion times. I must have really been digging it that night. It's like, sorry.
It's okay.
It'd be a fun game to see how many times we use the word dynamic in this episode.
We just keep going. And if that guy ever hears it, he'll be like, holy moly, he saw my comment.
Since we talked about balance for a second, do you find it difficult most days to strike a balance between your like PR, like professional talk, and creative freedom?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you got to remember, I always tell people this, like one of the things is, Project Purple is a perfect example of like, why won't you just tell us the name already? Why won't you tell us the stats are like, why aren't they telling us? And I think, the one thing that's nice about PR is what it does is it actually like controls all of the chaos from all the different areas it's coming from. Because to pull a project together of that magnitude Iron Menace, another great example, right? There are so many different people involved, and there's so many different things going on. It's like animation, images, logos, name, backstory, dynamics within the area, dynamics of the ride, manufacturer, all these different things are coming together. And then you've got the contractor, and you've got, site visits. There's just all this stuff coming together. And what PR says is, we can't talk about it until we are 100% aligned. And there's like some beauty in that, because what that also suggests is that we're ready to move forward as a team. And the PR person's job is like, you're not really the captain of the ship, but some days people think you are, because you're at the front of the ship, right? You're like the person that's at the front is like yelling "land hoy," and everybody's like, "Wow, look at that guy, he's in charge." Well, really, there's someone at the rudder. Like there's like a Jessica Naderman at the rudder, or a Mike Fainal, or Kim Solis, or whoever is in charge of the park. They're really the ones in charge, but you get to be the one out front scoping it and going like, "Hey, we got a problem, make a left." Or you can say like, "Yep, we're clear to go. Like, let's start firing the cannons. Let everybody know we're here." So I think as much as they do compete, at the end of the day, PR is actually the machine that says, "Hey, there's no relationship with the public until that creative, like all of that creative energy is put into something dynamic that has 100% alignment." Project Purple has been a great example of that, because as soon as maybe we're like 90%, we start looking at it, and there's, one party isn't ready, or one thing isn't quite ready. And I'm really big on like making sure that we are, and maybe it's a me thing too. I don't know if every PR person feels this way, but I'm really big on being like, is everyone ready? Does everyone have what they need before I go and talk about it, or we go and tell people about it, or we show it? And here's the thing with Project Purple too, right? It's like the answer to that is clearly no. We're not 100% yet, but I've found a way, and we've found a way, and they've given me the opportunity to still tell the story without being 100% aligned. And then people go, "Well, what does that look like?" Well, it looks like showcasing construction, talking about construction in subtle ways and creative ways, when we can actually tell you what the end result is. And I think there's once again, there's that creative flexibility. But you notice it all kind of works with PR. It just depends on you, and if you can find a balance as a team.
Yeah.
Long story short.
Not gonna lie, that whole ship analogy, I was just picturing you as like the front of the pirate ship.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what I thought. Like, like the mermaid. That's like, that's me. On the ship.
I was thinking of you like up on the little basket thing at the top.
Once I said it, I was like, "What do you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like the dude in the front or in the mast or something."
Yeah.
Like,
if you want to be the mermaid, though,
everybody hears my voice and is like, "Wow, that guy's steering us in the right direction." But in reality, I'm not steering anything. That's all I could think of. So I think it's pretty good.
It was a good analogy.
Yeah, the only one I could think of.
Ryan's a pirate, confirmed.
Yar. Hey, we did move the swashbuckler at Great Adventure, so maybe that's what did it. I've been thinking about pirates.
Really? That's an interesting move.
Moving into the boardwalk. So
okay.
Yeah, it's moving into the boardwalk, which is exciting.
Yeah, that is an exciting move.
It'll be the Super Roundup once again, which is one of its OG names. I think it is the OG name. It's had a couple.
Yeah, I feel like Dorney, in the history of Dorney, they do like to just move their rides around and give them a new name sometimes, just for funsies.
I don't think we've done it since I've been there, but yeah, it's...
Yeah, it has been pretty.
It's still, if you go to... One thing I love about Dorney, which I guess Great Adventure's getting some of this with the boardwalk, but the one thing I love about the Dorney is like the history of Dorney is like the coaster, the whip, the Zephyr. Oh, yeah. It's just like the most wave swinger, Ferris wheel. Carousel. It's like, boy, we really went all out with the naming, man.
Yeah, we're really creative here.
Challenging ourselves,
I know for the first time ever, I heard someone use the name Zephyr.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's so weird. That's the name of the train at Dorney Park. And people were like, that's the name of the train. And I was like, mind blown. No idea.
It's funny too, because I guess I kind of always associated Zephyr with Dorney too. And, in the Lehigh Valley, there's a high school where like their mascots are the Zephyrs. And I was like, holy hell, man, this is great. They named themselves after the Dorney Park Zephyr. Everybody's like, no, dude, it's train.
No, there's no convincing me
Yep.
it's anything but the little Dorney Park Zephyr that like you can barely fit 2 people into in modern day America. Like,
oh yeah,
that charm, nothing. No, a Zephyr is the Dorney Park train. There's no convincing me otherwise.
I'm with you.
I'm sitting over here like there's another Zephyr.
Yeah.
Like there's any other one.
Yeah, I was literally like,
it's the OG Zephyr, man. Saved the park from the Great Depression.
yeah,
Wild.
like wasn't
and
it
it cracks me up too. Like Dorney Park's biggest attractions at one point are like the trout pond, a dance hall, and the Zephyr. That's like wild, crazy.
It is really.
All right, I mean,
really crazy.
The coaster was there before it was Thunderhawk, but it was nothing like it is now. It's been changed. But
yeah didn't they add on like half of it? Isn't half of it like a newer edition?
Half of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Significant portion.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
it's
either.
Just funny. It's just funny to me that like even before some of the rides, it's like people would come out just for like a dance hall and a trout pond. It's amazing. And if anybody's ever seen the trout pond at Dorney, it's like it's just a little thing. It's like a fountain.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I always knew about the trout pond, but I don't know which body of water is actually the trout pond. It's not the body of water that, like, Hercules was on, right?
No, that's a lake.
That's a
trout
lake.
pond is literally right by Demon Drop, and it is just like, it's honestly, I mean, it's a little bigger than a fountain, but it's not like, it's not real grandiose.
Wait, so that's like the whole trout pond that the park is like built?
That little thing.
I did not know that. Honestly, I just assumed that they called it the trout pond, but it was the lake.
I mean, it makes it funnier. It makes it funnier that it was an attraction. Honestly, it just is kind of like decor, but
that's actually so good.
I love Dorney lore. Dorney history is special.
Yeah, Dorney lore. You have the trout pond, the Zephyr, and then also the haunted carousel. The haunted carousel is my favorite lore.
That's it. That's actually CP's fault, but
yeah, and they took the horse, so I mean, I guess it's not too haunted anymore. But
yeah,
haunted carousel.
Just that's the one that's at the merry-go-round museum.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's the one I saw. Okay.
Yeah, it's from the carousel that now lives at Dorney.
Okay.
So. Yeah. But now it does live at the Cedar Point Carousel Museum.
Yep.
Or Sandusky Carousel Museum.
Whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Cool place, though. I really enjoyed that.
Well, you saw the now Dorney Park haunted tours.
It's coming full circle. So I know we've kind of briefly mentioned the boardwalk and all the excitement with that coming up soon. I wanted to get into I guess we can get into more of the listener questions. But Mike had asked, what is the favorite part of the process between announcing a new ride or, a whole new area of the park and it finally opening?
So what is the most exciting part? Announcing or opening it?
What is your favorite part of the process between announcing and finally opening?
Oh, man. I mean, nothing beats when you actually open it because you put so much work into it and there's like a relief there and an excitement. And like, look, all the work that we do is at the end of the day, it's for the guests. So when all that work comes to fruition, there's nothing quite like that first day of operation and the park's open to everyone. I think that's the most special part. But if the question was posed in a way where like they want the answer to be like, what's the coolest part in the middle? It's all pretty. Honestly, like the teasing of it is really stressful because you're always worried that like something's going to get out, whether it's a name or a backstory. So like that's always in the back of my mind, which just stresses me out. But I will say, if it's a coaster, when the train arrives, that's really, really cool. That's like a big deal for me. It was, and the one thing for Iron Menace that I'll never forget was the first cycle. Like, it's cool to watch it get constructed, and you always have like one big milestone in construction. There's lots of different milestones in construction. We always have that one where it's like the biggest part of X or whatever it is. It's like the part the dive is started or the dive connected, or you're at the top of a tower or whatever. But honestly, the first cycle to me is like awesome. and you obviously got all the captures with it too. So you're doing all the media and you're doing the release and all that. So all of it works into it. And if you can time it right, you get people out there. Never really seems to work out that way, but that was always exciting for me. So I'd say those, the open it and first cycle are probably the two biggest things. Train arriving too is low key, super cool.
Yeah. I feel like they would be really exciting milestones. I couldn't even imagine what it must feel like to see the first cycle after all of the teasing and the building and the stories and finally seeing that cycle run.
Iron Menace was interesting too. I mean, they were still working on a lot of the dynamics of the ride, but when they did the first cycle, they like actually manually pulled it up the lift hill and then just basically let it go, because the ride dynamics just it made it all the way through the cycle without, climbing up the lift with the expedited chain. So that was really cool. It took them a while to get it up to the top, but then once they got it up there, just to like let it rip and then hear it for the first time, you're like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I had no idea that.
Yeah, it's cool. First 2 or 3 runs, just manual pull.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of neat.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Different.
I also heard 2 dynamics in that response, and I hate that I'm actually like noticing that more now.
Okay. Feathering it in.
Yeah, slowly we're getting it in there. Are we good like moving into listener questions, sprinkling some of these in? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
So Chris has a good one here. So what's something you learned about the theme park industry as a whole since stepping into the role that the average park goer or even enthusiast wouldn't have known?
That's a good question. I feel like I probably touched on it in one of my answers at some point. There's a lot there. I mean, I think the big thing is all of the work that goes into just operating a park on a daily basis and how much time people spend and put work into it, all the different disciplines that are involved, all the different people that are involved on a daily basis just to keep it operating. I don't think people really understand or quite understand the scope of it. They just come back year after year and they expect the same thrills and the same experience. But, behind the scenes, people change and processes change. And I think that's something that maybe people, quite honestly, I mean, I took it for granted. Like when you go to a theme park, you don't think about all those things that have to get done to even like get the park open for the day. Whether it's like inspecting a ride at 4 a.m. if you're in maintenance because you need the ride up and running by 9 a.m., all of those different things that happen and that go into it. I don't know. It's like an incredible feat. I don't know if that is the right answer because maybe some enthusiasts do because they've worked in the industry. So they know like, it takes a lot of work to operate a theme park. I think one of the other things too is I always tell people this about like with Iron Menace and like the naming. I don't know. People know all the different things that go into it, but there's so much to go. I tell people all the time, it's like, anything that you could think was like a unique name, like the English language has been around for so long and we've been trademarking and copywriting names for at least like the last century. So you could go into something and think like, oh boy, this is like this really dynamic, great name. Let's take it through trademark. And you take it through trademark and it turns out it's like someone's solo band name, from wherever, or it's someone's bar that they once had, but they still own the trademark for the beer. So that's always like really interesting because people are always like, that name stinks and I wouldn't have picked that name. And why'd you? It's like, well, that might've been our 7th choice. So we went through the first 6 before we could find it. But then you've also got to get all the different players involved too. So it's like, well, whether it's, you've got a partner, for each park, is it Peanuts? Is it Warner Brothers, is it Legendary or whatever it is, whether it's a haunt attraction or whether it's a ride or what, there's just like so many different people that have to go into. So like naming something, I don't think is as easy as like one dude sitting around in his car and just like, I got a great name. It's like, yeah, maybe you had a great name, but it might not hold mustard when we start putting it through the process. So I think that's always a really interesting thing because people are like, why do I always come up with these stupid names? And it's like, why is iron in every name? And it's like, I don't know, for some reason, no one's trademarking iron. And also it fits into the area. So It's like a lot of different things that go into it.
So Lom has a question that kind of is similar to that. He said, what comes first, a ride type or a ride theme?
A little bit of both. I think so. You go to the manufacturer, or you go to manufacturers and you say, hey, we want to finance a ride, and this is where we want to do it, and this is the space we want to do it in. And then, depending on how you're doing the project, whether you went to one specifically manufacturer or whether you went to multiple, then they all can kind of pitch you on like, hey, this is what we think would fit the area. And then from there, if you're a Jessica Naderman or a Pete Carmichael, you could say, yeah, I actually think like this model right here is perfect. It financially works for us, and this is what we do. And then they can come back and now they'll say, hey, we're going to tailor this a little bit. Here's 3 different things that we think work for that space based on the model you selected. I mean, and it could be more. This is a generality. And you could say, okay, well, what do we want to do in the area? So at Dorney, we knew we wanted to do something that was connecting with the Lehigh Valley. So we kind of knew we wanted to do like a steel mill, steel yard kind of thing. And so then once we pivoted and started working with B&M and we knew it was a dive, then we're like, and we knew we wanted to do a steel yard. We're like, okay, how do these work together? And what does it look like? So I think like there's a group or a thought process of like, hey, we want to, and it depends too, because, prior to Iron Menace, Dorney Park wasn't really big on theming. So we would have just slapped something in and called it a day, and we would have figured out how to name it later. So I wouldn't say it's always one size fits all. But with this company right now with Six Flags and even Cedar Fair before it, there's a desire to pick rides that fit into theming and concepts and ideas that you have. So clearly with Shoreline Pier at the Boardwalk and Project Purple, we already know what the theme's going to be. So selecting a name is more reflective of how it works together. So it's a little bit of both. I think you kind of have, they're almost like 2 different thoughts. Like you're always thinking about theming, and one group's always thinking about rides and what packages you're getting and what you're putting in. And then somewhere in the middle, they kind of meet and you go, okay, this works with this.
Yeah.
But it's never the same thing twice either, right? Like you could just get a ride and then go, okay, well, what theme can we fit this in? Or you could have a theme already and get a ride and go, how do we fit this ride into this theme? It's possible. I don't think there's any. But for the last 2 that I've worked on, the theme was kind of already in development. And then the ride started to come and they kind of worked together. So.
Okay. Yeah. We do have another one talking about theming. Solar Coaster said, will there be nice theming on the King 2 car like is seen on Iron Menace?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I kind of answered that. I'll keep it simple. Yeah, there's going to be great. There'll be great theming on Project Purple.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the new theming in that area.
Yeah, I mean this company specifically, I think we're really big on theming and storytelling, which is maybe why I like it so much. And so yeah, you're going to see that with any project we work on at either of my parks.
I also feel like most projects with the company, I feel like there are really high expectations, but I also feel like with the reputation of the predecessor, it's like even like the bar is really high. And I would imagine, that it's going to hit it.
Yeah, and a lot of the creative minds from Legacy Cedar Fair are in charge of kind of like the creative development. Ken Parks was with me for Iron Menace, and he's a part of the storytelling for Great Adventure and Shoreline Pier. So that's encouraging for me. And Clayton Lawrence is still with the company. He was also instrumental in Iron Menace, and so he's a part of this project as well. So working with those 2, I know really good storytellers are sharp, and I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, I am too. I'm very excited.
So with Project Purple, obviously we're going to be hopefully seeing some more teasing soon, but Mike had another question and said, what is the biggest challenge when teasing a new ride?
Well, it just depends on the ride.
Of course.
Oh, well, no, I'll be honest. I think that, so the biggest challenge is trying to stay ahead of folks in the industry who dig and dig and dig for everything they can before we release it. Honestly, that's the biggest challenge. And I think some people in the industry get more worked up about it than I do, because I do think at the end of the day, speculation is good. But there is a rubber meets the road somewhere sometimes where it's like speculation, just to say like, hey, here's what I think it is. And, maybe, when they went to the township, they submitted this plan and this is what we saw and this is what I think it is. That's good speculation. Improperly flying a drone over the park while there's construction underway and there's people below and you're flying low to like spot footers and steal. That's bad speculation. And then just trying to, it's like there's sometimes too where it's like you have to submit permits sometimes well in advance of work. And sometimes you're not comfortable with the information being public because the permit, just because you submitted the permit doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing that or that you're going, and I don't just mean coasters, I mean everything, right? Like you might have to submit a permit to alter a bar. At the end of the day, you may not actually do the alteration, but you still had to submit the permit, because if you didn't submit the permit when you submitted it, you'll never get the work done in time, because everything has like an estimated date of completion. But then if the information gets out there because someone was digging around and did a freedom of information or was privy to information that was like given to a government employee who then leaked it to them, those are all different things that I think are challenging about teasing. But at the end of the day, I think it also just shows how excited people are when you get new things. And obviously, you want to control the narrative. So it's a balance. And I think that's actually the most challenging thing, is like finding that balance between like, hey, how do we stay in front of this thing while making sure all parties are 100% aligned and that we're ready, knowing that some information is going to go to the public that will give something away that we're just not 100% ready to talk about yet. And it's tricky. And I've found it with every project I've worked on, because permitting and those things are difficult to time out correctly. So it's one of those things.
Yeah. And there are some really good sleuthers out there.
Yeah.
They are. It's impressive. We see stuff all the time and it gets flagged for me and it's like, how in the world? And sometimes it's obvious, it's like, a truck's going down 295. Of course someone saw it, but then there's other things where it's like, I don't even know how they pulled that document. So it is impressive. Sometimes you just got to tip your hat to them.
Yeah.
And not get worked up about it.
Yeah, I've seen some really impressive ones in my time as an enthusiast.
So have I. And then you see other ones too where you're like, that's just wrong. But,
right.
Fortunate that all the ones that we've had for this project, you're just kind of like, bravo. Is what it is. Iron Menace too, it's like, oh yeah, we had to go to the township. It is what it is.
Yeah, especially, Iron Menace, it's really hard to get around the township because I know they are very strict.
You're tied in.
Yeah, they are it's really hard because that park is so close to everything. So it's like.
We didn't used to be. We used to be the only thing. Now it's the community's growing up around us. So
yeah, it's like literally you could see the houses behind.
I know. Yep.
It's crazy.
And the airport's nearby, and it's crazy.
It's insane how that area has grown. Ethan has a good question here. Besides the 2 parks you're currently working out at, which Six Flags park would you be most interested in working at?
Knott's Berry Farm. I got to spend time with them summer of 2024 after I opened Iron Menace, and I got to help them to open Camp Snoopy. And the team out there is incredible. They are talented. Southern California weather is undefeated. It is so beautiful out there. Now, I didn't have to live out there, so cost of goods and services is certainly high, and it's not cheap to live out there. So I'll caveat it by saying I was blessed enough to stay at the Knott's Hotel. Boo-hoo. But it's just, and that park is so beautiful. It's so incredible.
It really
is.
The
food and beverage team there, the entertainment team. like the way that they're able to like step in and assist you. And I have that at Dorney and Great Adventure, but like something about creatives in California, um, I don't know. It was just really impressive. Like it's an impressive operation, year round, so well operated. Every detail, everything is cared for. I was there for their summer nights. The festival was incredible. Like the music, the food. You got a tasting card. Like I love my time there. Everybody there was so nice and accommodating, and yeah, I can't say enough about the team that was there, 24 at Knott's, and I would, yeah, I mean, if they said like, hey, we need you to help again, I'd be more than happy to go there and help.
What was your favorite ride out there? Out of curiosity.
Uh, I mean, there was quite a few. I really like the nostalgic rides. I mean, Hang Time was cool. I mean, keep thinking about that one. Um, Yeah, I don't know. Probably Hang Time. Well, I don't know. Ghost Rider was really good too. There's so many good rides at Knott's. It's like hard to pick one. I think like what I'm just blown away by is just like their ability to theme everything out so well. Like Ghost Town Alive is crazy,
Mm-hmm.
like crazy, and then just like the little entertainment that they have. Um, I don't know. It's just an impressive park, man. So to pin anything at like one, I think would be difficult.
Yeah, that is like my in the States, that's like one of my two highest desired parks.
I just love seeing all the creativity with boysenberry. Like I have a friend who was there, this past couple days. I think he was there, and just sending things in our group chat of every single boysenberry flavored food that he ate.
I came home with a ton of it. All right, I thought about it. I thought about it a little longer. Accelerator was my favorite ride. But the boysenberry cotton candy, like what?
That actually sounds so good.
So good. The food is really good there. Anyway, I
Yeah,
don't even want to know
I've
about.
heard
I mean,
incredible.
they're the Not Scary Farm product too. Like they just were able to take me on for like lights on tours while I was out there, and I'm like, what in the heck? Next level. Like everything's like Ghost in the Machine level. Just wild. Everything.
Yeah, did do I remember did the Knott's Berry Farm team?
Plague Productions, which is a lot of guys that came from Not Scary Farm and started their
Okay.
own company. They worked on Ghost in the Machine.
Oh, I thought it was the Knott's team directly, but it was just people who
Yep,
were
guys who
formerly.
used to be the Knots team.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did remember there was some tie to Knott's there. Yeah, because
the one.
Knott's from the California people, like Knott's Scary Farm specifically, like rivals with some of those like really high budget haunted attractions
Yep,
out there. So it's very impressive.
they know I love them out there. So any chance I can to gas them up, I'm happy to do it. So
Yeah. Also, Accelerator is the choice.
yeah, I know. I was trying to like rack my brain. I'm notoriously terrible with names, you guys, like bands, people, dogs, rides, man. I think I meet too many people. I used to be really good because I used to think that was like a big thing. Like it's really intentional to remember somebody's name. And the older I get, I'm like, oh boy, I know too many people. What's your name? Oh my God. Hey, buddy. What's up?
I'm just so ADHD. Like they'll tell me their name, and I'm like not listening in the least.
No, Accelerator was crazy. Accelerator was crazy. And I got to ride it during the day. At night was wild. I was like, this
Really?
ride is, yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, they are. I love a good hydraulic launch.
Yeah, it was cool. It reminds me a lot of like Storm Runner at Hershey.
Yeah.
So,
Accelerator was closed when I went, and I was very sad.
I mean, awesome.
That's like my biggest fear.
Not to rub it in, but
Yeah. My biggest fear is that I'm going to schedule a trip to Knott's Berry Farm and I'm going to get there and Accelerator is going to be closed.
I never got to ride Top Thrill because of that.
Ooh.
Went 3 times down every time.
Oh no.
Never
Yeah,
got on it. Not TT2, TT.
Yeah.
TTD.
So I went to Cedar Fair twice when it was Top Thrill Dragster, and the second time it was down just because it was down. But the first time, do you know the Great Northeast Blackout?
That does sound reminiscent. I'm not
So
going to
in
sit here and pretend like I remember it, but I remember like it's striking at something in my brain.
Yeah, so in 2003 there was some kind of energy thing, and like
Yep.
Sandusky, New York City, like Philadelphia, Toronto, like all of that section of the Northeast completely lost power for like I think over a
No, I
day.
don't remember. I don't remember this well because I was a child, but
Yeah, so
it's in
so
my
was
brain
I.
from somewhere.
But do you know why I remember it? Because I was standing in line for disaster transport. It was like my second ride of the day. It was
Oh
10:30 in
no
the
way!
morning.
That's
Um, and then we had to walk out of the park, and we couldn't even like get into our hotel room or even leave the parking lot because it was so crazy. So my parents just
Jeez.
gave us a wheelchair and said, "Here you go, have fun for hours. We found this wheelchair,"
wow.
and we spent hours playing with a wheelchair in the parking lot of Cedar Point instead of actually being at Cedar Point.
You seem to do that a lot when you go to Cedar Point.
Not go to Cedar Point.
Random stuff and not be in
Yeah,
Cedar Point. I would discourage others from doing the same thing.
yeah.
Don't
I
take
like.
the Gen Tourism playbook on Cedar Point, please. God
Yeah, I
no.
spend a lot of time picnicking in the Magnum parking lot.
And apparently in Sawmill Creek, just chilling, listening to whoever's there singing
Yeah,
or
stop
whatever.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't take tips from me. I'm a bad Cedar Pointer, guys.
It's hilarious.
You say this as I plan just monthly day trips to Cedar Point.
Yeah, I'm really bad at that park. I don't know why. It's like probably there's been far too many times where I've gone. I think it's because the year that Top Thrill 2 like opened but didn't open, like we planned so many trips because of all of the events. So I spent like 12 days there. So ever since then, I'm just kind of like I'm out Cedar Point. I'm good. Like I'm just gonna chill in the parking lot, listen to Magnum. It's fine.
That's such a nerd thing to say. I'm just going to listen to Magnum.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and watch things, and it's fine. I don't know. I don't know how Cedar Point people can go like as often as they do. 12 days was enough for me. I was like, I was good for the like 3 years. Yeah. All right, back to our question.
Back to our actual interview.
Um. All right, we have another from Solar Coaster. He said since Dorney Park is still part of the Cedar Fair Six Flags chain, can we expect more overall changes and additions?
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, yeah, we'll see some additions. So I'm going to assume when they say additions, they mean rides and not just experiences, because we're actually going to have some additions this year for the experience part of it. And I think that also encompasses changes. But I think I don't know. I'm going to assume with a name like Solar Coaster that you mean additions and changes rides. And the reality is, yes, there will be some. Won't be for 2026. But that's like I say all the time. I am always encouraged for the future of my two parks, and I don't think I would be doing this job if I wasn't. So nothing that I can divulge or really talk about yet. Some of it's kind of in infancy stages. Some of it's like middle, and some were kind of lurking between getting closer to done and being close to the start. But yeah, there's always yeah. I mean, there's already changes for the park this year. There's changes every year. But as far as rides are concerned, yeah, nothing for 26. But hopefully, we've got some exciting stuff for 27 and beyond.
26 is the year of Talon.
Yeah.
26 is
most
the
important.
year of Talon.
We
Yep.
can't add anything on this, the 25th birthday of Talon at Dorney Park.
Talon. Banners, timelines, 2000s music in the queue. It's all about Talon this year. So we just had to park all plans for Talon. Now, there'll be food and beverage upgrades. There's going to be some entertainment changes, new event. So we're working through some things, and hopefully we've got information out the next week or two. So we're getting close to putting some of that out there.
Yeah. Is there Is there going to be 25th anniversary Talon merch?
There is. Actually, I showed some off. We did an event with American Coaster Enthusiasts back in February, and there's quite a few items from our fabulous merchandise team at Dorney, which I think is the best in the biz, along with Great Adventure, of course. And they have hoodies, shirts, mugs, hats. Bob and Kim have a really good lineup of stuff, so I'm excited to roll that out on June 13th when we do the 25th birthday celebration.
All right, I'm excited. We need to I'm going to roast myself about not getting my Patreon videos done because we need to get the Patreon.
Look, you're the proud owner of one of one of, I don't know, 30 Talon lamps. So you're already an insider.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but I do have my Talon lamp. Yeah.
There you go. The Talon lamp's what it's all about. Siri's going nuts.
Yeah, the Talon lamp is definitely, that was a really fun piece of merch.
I carried that around the park too. I don't even know.
I did. I carried it around the park.
Did you call me and ask me like if there was somewhere you could put it? And I was already like done for the day. I feel like we had that conversation of like, can I not carry this around all night? And I'm like, I am no longer there. So yeah, I think you're gonna have to carry it.
I feel like I asked.
There was no re-entry. It was like haunt.
Yeah, so I think that I asked if there was like if I was allowed to walk around with it because I was like, I'm.
Oh, okay, maybe that was the conversation.
Because I was like, I'm not like I'm gonna buy this.
It's heavy.
$400 lamp that's like 50 pounds. I have no idea why I was allowed in those houses with the lamp.
light the way, I guess.
It was so funny, but it was probably one of the most fun I've ever had at the haunt event because even the scare actors were like,
why do you have a lamp?
Why do you have a lamp? And I was like, don't scare my lamp. Like,
careful around the merchandise.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever you do, don't scare my lamp.
It's one of those iconic pieces at this park. It was like one of the most talked about merchandise products of all time.
Yeah.
We still talk about the lamps. I think we got like maybe a dozen left. And it's still just like, man, who's going to buy the lamps this year?
There's still some left.
There's a couple left. Yeah. Maybe it might be less than a dozen, but it's somewhere around that neighborhood. So
it's crazy that there's still some left. They're so good.
Well, I think part of it too, for a while there, Possessions was the old store, and they would just kind of be like hidden back there.
So Possessions, though, like anyone who knew Dorney knew that Possessions, I feel like got all the merch that you guys like found in a back room that was like 50 years old.
100%.
Like some of the shirts I had were like I have this one Talon shirt that there was a single shirt left and it was like a double XL and it's the coolest Talon shirt I own, but it is clearly from like the late 90s, I guess early 2000s. It's like,
yeah,
it's so old.
They dug some. I'm big on like '90s snapbacks, and they dug some hats out that they found in the warehouse a while back, and I was like, "Yo, those hats are fire." They were like, it was like a 2002 Steel Force snapback, and I was like, "Yo, I need that hat in the worst way." And they're like, "You want that hat?" And I'm like, "My God, yes."
Yeah.
6
I'm like,
of
yes,
them.
give me all of the 90s and 2000s merch. It's so good.
Like I want the Steel Force one and the Thunderhawk one and the Hercules one. Give me them all, please.
Yeah, I loved everyone who was anyone knew that Possessions, if you were buying merch, Possessions was the place to go.
Yeah.
That was the spot. I was so sad when it closed.
It's for the best. You got a better store now.
It is a better store, but I'm like, what do you
I'm not going to talk up Possessions, man. That place was a mess.
I will say Possessions is like the smartest name for a merchandise store I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love my one true theme park merch love, Possessions.
What a time.
See, now y'all are talking up the Talon lamp, and I want to go get one this season.
Do it. Gotta do it. You only live once, YOLO. YOLO, Allison. That's it. You got to do it.
Yeah.
I have a random collection of theme park pieces.
Good luck getting that back to Ohio.
Well, we would drive, so it would just sit in the car. But
don't break it.
It's a really good one. I have to. It's been on my list. I do want to change the lampshade. I have yet to actually use it. It's just sitting on a desk right now. I want I feel like it would be really cool with a different lampshade.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Talon lampshade, when you put a lamp in it, it's a little orange, and my ADHD can't do that. So, but I could put a cool lampshade on it that's white. Oh, I keep saying I'm going to do it, and it's sitting on my desk downstairs without a bulb in it.
You should get the lamp that they sell at Voltron and just start a coaster lamp collection.
Oh, yeah. That one I will never get home from Germany.
It can be done. Nate has one. Speaking of Nate, actually, he has a good question. What is your favorite ride at Dorney Park?
Mine?
And
Iron
if it's
Menace?
not Talon, Jen might kill you.
So it's interesting. I think I can claim two. So Iron Menace, because of all of the work that I put in to get it open, it means the most to me and probably a lot of the team that's there currently because of all the work that we put in 2024 and transformatively what it means for the park in terms of investment and moving more towards dynamic theming. First major investment in 17 years, yada, yada, yada. So like I am a huge proponent of Iron Menace, but if you're talking about just like, hey, Ryan, if you could go to Dorney Park and you could only ride one thing, you could only get on one ride, what would it be? For me, it's Talon, 100%, just because of, so like I do love Steel Force too, so like I don't want people to get it twisted, but for me, Talon hits this core memory as a kid of being like one of my first big boy rides with multiple inversions, but I will say like even now, like, 20 years removed from being a kid going there. I get on Talon and it's just like, it's sleek, it's fast, it's quiet. Everything's tight. It's right at the front of the park. It has incredible views. Just doing the lift walk. I think Jen and I did it back in 22. Just like that lift walk is just like simplistic. It's easy. Everything about it is like, it's easy fun. Like it's easy fun that everyone can enjoy. And it has just enough oomph to be everything you need in a coaster. And for me, it's like the perfect invert. And I just think it's awesome that it exists at Dorney Park, to be quite honest. But yeah, I mean, Steel Force and Iron Menace are transformative for different ways. But like, yeah, if you're going to be like, hey, Ryan, if you could go and you could ride something over and over and over again, it's Talon. Steel Force improved greatly with we did the control system upgrade. And before the control system upgrade, I don't even think it was in my top 3 anymore. But once we got the control system upgrade and it was like bumping over the top and just flying over the top, now I'm like, all right, dude, I'm back in on Steel Force. I almost said Iron Menace. I mean, I've always been in on Iron Menace. But I'm back in on Steel Force. But yeah, for me, it's like, it's Talon, it's Iron Menace, and it's just like for 2 very different reasons.
Yeah. I think of all people, you can have 2 answers for 2 different reasons.
One is only because of the personal connection and how hard I worked on it, right? It's not really to do with the ride dynamics.
Yeah.
Although that dive's pretty dope at Haunt.
That dive
with the fog, and you're looking down into the steel yard, which is a haunt zone, and that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is a really good. It's just a really good setup fully, like the way it looks at the park.
The queue, have Ghost in the Machine back there and empty buckets. Like it's just it's a transformative ride. It brought everything up with it. So yeah.
It's a good one. But yeah, Steel Force, that thing.
So good.
That thing has been wild.
So good. I know.
So much positive feedback after those updates.
Yeah, it was like, it feels like, I know it's not a simple update, but I feel like it's such, like in the world of like, the coaster needs a refresh, I feel like it's a fairly simple update, and it made a crazy difference.
Oh, yeah.
That thing was wild. The first time I rode it, I was like, I don't even think I could process what just happened to me.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It was weird too because I rode it August of. I honestly don't even remember when the upgrade happened. I can't remember if it was before 24 or before 25. It all kind of bleeds together, but I rode it in the fall before for Haunt, and I almost felt like that's getting a little rough. And it's crazy what a modern computer system can do, and it went from like a war game style computer to like an iPad, and it's like it's 10 times smaller and 3 billion times more efficient and easier. So crazy.
It's insane.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember my first ride. I was so surprised by how fast it was going and how good it was. I forgot to yell that you guys should RMC Hercules as I rode by Hercules.
Yeah. The only thing left from Hercules is like a couple foundations. There's
Yeah,
really
that's
nothing
fine.
left
We can
anymore.
RMC it with some foundations. It's
I
fine.
That's all we need.
It's funny because Hercules missed the boat by, just a couple years. I mean, it was torn down before anyone was really trying to do anything of significance. But I also will say from what I understand, from our maintenance guys have been doing it for 20, 30, 40 years, the maintenance over the lake was a nightmare.
Oh, I could imagine.
Especially
Yeah.
how hard it banked coming out of the drop.
Yeah,
So
because it was known for having some pretty intense forces for like
yeah, I mean your
just
most
a
intense
standard
forces, you're
wooden.
pulling over a lake that's hard to maintain. So like yeah, not
Yeah.
not. I mean I get why they did it, but maybe not the greatest idea.
Oh, it's just so sad because it was such a like the Hydra is great and like it looks beautiful, but the wooden coaster over the lake like that is just like it hits different.
100%.
So
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of it right now.
it looked so pretty. It was definitely like yeah, it fit in the park really well and it was very pretty. I also just like to me Dorney feels like very old school and very chill. So like I just think the vibe of having like a wooden coaster instead of like a newer B&M is to me feels more Dorney. So like that view over the lake with a wooden coaster. It's all for look for me. I don't know, vibes. Hydra's a great replacement though.
Yeah, I mean there was a debate at one time too, like wood versus steel for the new coaster, but I think ultimately when you start talking about a story and theming that's going to connect with the community, I always tell people this: like the steel yard was a slam dunk, and I'm almost surprised that like it could have been really easy to fumble the bag.
Yeah, and for
But like
Iron Menace,
you've got to build a steel coaster if you're doing a steel yard. It doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah. For Iron Menace for sure. I meant more over the lake.
Oh, I
Like
agree.
in the Hydra
Like
spot. But
Hydra
yeah, Iron
versus
Menace.
Hercules. Yeah, I mean, well, any ride if it
Yeah.
went directly over the lake would be sweet.
Yeah. The dive
Because
coaster though for the
Hydra doesn't
steel
do it.
mill is like that was a slam dunk theming
Yeah, so I said
wise.
it was
Mhm.
almost like too easy not to do it. So
Yeah. No other coaster would have fit as well. There's like not even a chance.
no, in my opinion, no.
Yeah. It's a good one. All right. We have one more question.
All right.
It's a little bit silly.
Well,
Liam asked, do you like Immelmans?
Do I like Immelmans?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, well, the answer has to be yes because of Iron Menace, first of all. But yeah, actually, you know what? It's one of the best elements of Iron Menace, if I'm being honest. So yes, I do. I feel like that's a loaded question, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but the answer is yes.
his name is Immelman Images.
Oh,
Yeah.
the answer is yes. I mean, on Iron, it's funny too because Iron Menace. I don't think a lot of people know this, but you shift forces. So at one point in the ride, your negative forces. The other part of the ride, your positive forces. Which is why some people get off and are like, "Geez, the back half is rough," and it's like it's positive forces. So it's pressure on your body to keep you in the seat. So in the beginning, when you do the Immelman, which is goes back to I do like Immelmans, you have the negative forces. And then as soon as you get to the tilted loop is where you have the change in dynamic, and all of a sudden you're going from negative to positive forces. And that's when people start feeling pulled and pushed. And it's like it's by design. Because it's supposed to be a short, compact ride that gives you as many sensations as possible. Which is funny because it's also some of the most of the criticism about it is how it feels. And it's like it's supposed to push your body. That's kind of the point of the ride.
Yeah.
Which is why it's just like this. It's just like the dynamic little engine. It's a mini dive.
Yeah. I
So
can see that.
yes,
I
I do
actually
like
never put
Immelman.
together that it's negatives and then positives. That's
Yeah,
a pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
The first two elements you're negative, and then
Yeah.
the last two you're positive. So it's kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
I just didn't process that before. That's funny.
And obviously you float while you're going down the dive too. So
yeah.
I'll chalk that one up. Happy to answer all the questions. Those were easy.
Yeah, we didn't get too many crazy questions this time around. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, it's funny because when we were doing the pre-chat, you guys were like, "Oh, what's the name of the new ride?" And I'm like, "I'm not going to tell you, even if you ask. The answers I can't tell you yet."
Well, we have more of a chance that you'll tell us when we're not recording.
Yeah, right. To be announced, just like many things about Project Purple, and some to be announced despite everyone seeing it. So, what's the color of the track? Purple. Columns are gray. So a lot of it's already spelled out.
What so far? Now I'm just gonna ask a random question. What so far has been your favorite part about Iron Menace? Wow. Project Purple's creation.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say Iron Menace was opening it, and the first public riders when they were screaming, and I was like, why am I getting emotional? That was the thing. I was like, holy crap! People are screaming. But anyway, Project Purple. My favorite part so far was we had a very small collection of content creators come out on the day that the track piece was delivered, and it all timed out really well. And my park manager was there, and he cut the lock, and it was just choreographed. It was like, oh, this went great. And that was just a really, really special day because to see the first piece of purple and see it pop. Because we get designs and we see paint on a piece of paper, but to see it in, and we got some pictures from the manufacturer, but then to see it in real life on our site was oh my gosh, it's happening. This is awesome. So for me, that's been the most exciting part so far was that first piece of track arriving. The second coolest part was I went 4 or 5 days without going out to the site because I had some obligations at Dorney. And then obviously we had Sunday, Sunday we don't build, and sometimes we don't build on Saturday. So it was 4 or 5 days in between. I came out and I was like, holy moly. All of the track where the station is going to be is done. It's up. So just to watch how aggressively and quickly they're working on this project has been fun.
Yeah. I was really shocked when I saw everyone's pictures from last weekend because I was like, you guys just put the first piece of track in. What do you mean this is already like this?
Yeah. And the first piece of track getting put on inside baseball, but everybody's like, well, it took you 8 hours to put the first piece of track in. You guys are going so slow. And it's the first piece of track is the most instrumental piece of track in the entire build because as everyone knows, as you go along, it's not that it gets easier, but it's like a Lego set.
Yeah, right? If you're off by even
with the first piece, we put it on with that, we didn't have the crane for it yet. So dynamically how we were doing is different. Now it's all crane work. It's all different. So it's just funny. I thought it was great that 4 days later when all the pictures started coming out from us and the content creators, it's all this work's done. And I was like, dude, just relax. So critical of how long it took to put the first piece on. And I'm like, if you were there, you'd know that this is a critical juncture of the build is when you first start to go vertical.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just seamlessly starts to work together. One of the next big things that you see normally is circuit completed, right? Whatever it is, whatever that circuit is. That's a big thing too. So that'll be coming down the road at some point too. So there's always something to watch out for. But yeah, the build has been incredible to watch how fast that is.
Yeah. Can I also I don't know why I saved these to the end of the episode.
Sorry.
Were there other options potentially outside of Mach, or was Mach kind of always the idea?
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
Can't get into manufacturer questions just yet, Jen.
Okay. All right. Also an answer. Sorry. I assumed
it's all good. It's all good. Hopefully we can talk about those things real soon.
All right. Well then, we'll save my question to when we can talk about those things real soon.
Yeah, I love how you guys already, you're so dead set on everything and what it is. That's what I mean. It's great. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
We're not 100% ready to talk about that just yet. I don't think it's a big secret, and I don't want to treat it like it's a secret. It's just not. I'm just not quite there yet.
Yeah, the story is not ready to be told.
That's where we're at. Allison gets it. Jen gets it too. She walked right into it.
I did. We were so concerned that we were going to have questions that you wouldn't be able to answer, and I was the question.
You're the one.
Yeah, it was me.
Hey, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, you gotta ask it. You gotta ask that question. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, anything else, guys?
No. I have something else to reference, but that's not related to Ryan, but it's more of a general podcast thing.
I am a little sad we don't get a Dandelion appearance on this episode. I feel like last time I got Dandelion appearance on the episode. She was very quiet this episode.
Somewhere she did not pop up.
No Dandelion and Ahsoka.
No Dandelion. No pacing around either. She did pretty good.
No dogs this episode, guys.
I know. Where's the corgi at? Gone.
She just started rolling around on the ground just now. Quiet in her bed.
Look at that. I remember that name. That's pretty good. Dogs, yes. People, rides, not so much.
Yeah, I always tell this story, but like before me and Taylor Bybee were friends, the first time he met me, we met through mutual friends, and I had Ahsoka with me. She was a puppy, and he followed Ahsoka on Instagram, and he followed Ahsoka on Instagram for almost a year before he followed me on Instagram.
That checks out. I can relate to that.
Yeah. I was
sorry,
like,
your dog's cooler than you. That is what it is.
Yeah, he was like, I want to follow your dog on Instagram, and just never followed me. Just only followed the dog. It's like, awesome, valid. That's fine.
I mean, my dogs are definitely cuter than I am, so I get the vibe.
Yeah, I was like, I would also only follow the corgi. That's fine. All right.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
Cool. Yeah, thank you, Ryan.
Sure, we'll have more to talk about here in a couple weeks.
All right, so, we'll have to have you back.
Happy to jump on again later in the year.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to get you back on.
And we'll see you at Great Adventure soon.
Yes.
Sure. And real quick before we end the recording, for our April Fool's episode that dropped yesterday as of recording this, we did mean to drop an episode on Wednesday instead of Monday. Like, that had been the plan all along. I did not mean to release an episode without one person's entire vocal track on there. That was not the April Fool's part of it. It was the we actually did have an episode, and it was just a dumb one. So sorry about that to anybody who listened to the episode before I pulled it down during my my day job and got it fixed up. That was stressful.
Yeah, I do, however, think it would have been genius because Mike was so excited about that topic. It would have been genius just to cut his audio for like half the episode and then tell him later. I thought about it later and I was like, man, that would have been a fantastic joke. He was far too educated on theming in bathrooms.
Yeah. But like when somebody messages me is like, hey, did he mean to have like 20 seconds of silence and then you guys randomly referencing King's Island when nothing else was said? I'm like, no, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, it happens. We're learning.
April Fool's on me, but it's fixed up. Enjoy a silly episode.
Yeah, if you like bathrooms.
We'll have to talk about Dorney Park bathrooms or something.
Yeah, I don't think they were mentioned. Or Great Adventure.
Yeah.
Ryan, your parks are missing the bathroom. Good bathroom marks.
Good bathroom marks?
Yeah.
Well, you know, Dorney's been around for 140 plus years, so that could explain that.
Yeah.
Great Adventure's got some nice bathrooms. I don't know. Maybe just not something they're really... Maybe they just get in and get out when they're at Great Adventure. They're just trying to experience the thrills. They're not too worried about it, you know?
Yeah, we need like immersive bathrooms. So you could be featured on next year's April Fool's episode about bathrooms.
You know what? Dynamic bathrooms.
Dynamic bathrooms only.
I'm not a big prankster, but I'm sure we can figure something out. I'd like to stay away from social media on April Fool's. I hate it. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it.
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to do something
what are your parks doing for April Fool's? And I'm like, nothing.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
Sometimes,
you're
like,
no fun. And I'm like, I don't just, I'm one of those weirdos too. When like everybody does it, it just makes me not want to do it.
yeah.
Like, everyone's doing it. You should do this trend. No, I don't want to do it. Unless we can elevate it. Then I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Like if everybody's doing Hot to Go by Chapel Roan, then like, what are we doing to make it like cool and make it uniquely ours? Oh, we're sticking monsters up on top of roller coasters and using a drone. Okay, I'm cool.
Yeah. I feel like every year there's like one or two things that end up being really good, but the rest is just, yeah.
It's just because everybody does them. So
Yeah.
it's oversaturated.
Yeah, I don't care for the pranks, but I had fun with the just recording a silly episode.
That's different. Yeah, it's like you didn't go on social media and put out something that looks serious and guest facing, and then it was a joke. Like
okay. Yeah, we just did a silly episode that we had a guest on who had no idea what it was about, and
that's funny.
Got to surprise him with a very random episode. So yeah, it was a fun little, not random post lying about something.
Smart.
Still fun. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of the episode.
Yeah. This has been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot tonight.
It has been. Thank you so much again, Ryan. We really appreciate you coming on with us.
Thanks. Thank you for your time, and I hope everybody gets to a great adventure in Dorney Park and a Six Flags park near them soon.
Yeah. I can't wait to hear more about Project Purple.
Oh, you'll hear more this weekend from Jen. So stay tuned.
Yes.
Look forward to that. Well, until next time, keep thinking inverted, and we will see y'all again soon.
Bye, guys.